Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Prep Life Podcast. This is your founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini, Amy Enger, and today I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Leemarie Jones. How you doing, Lee?
I'm good. It is a crazy week, and you're recording from your car. I'm recording from an empty apartment, so hopefully it doesn't echo.
Yeah, we're all in transition here, so hopefully our audio is okay. Please forgive us if it's a little off this week, but I did want to talk about the Olympia, just kind of what is to come here. The list is officially out. The qualification period officially ended. So I want to talk about like how many athletes, all of the like specs. We're not going to go over the whole list because there's 71 qualified athletes. But we'll talk about a little on just who may be landing in the top 15. I almost don't want to say that because like we were talking offline that, everybody is perfect. I mean, these ladies have all won pro shows to get there.
Mhm.
So they're amazing.
Yeah.
And anything that we talk about, you know, kudos to these athletes for getting that qualification. That's a huge honor. It's a lifetime accomplishment. So I don't want to devalue anyone by, leaving someone off the list or anything like that. I kind of just really, in no particular order, picked like the 15 like pretty common people that people would recognize. There are
Mhm.
so many international shows now that it's insane, the list, the magnitude,
Mhm.
and just like the names that I don't recognize because now that the NPC worldwide is in existence, we it used to be you really had to go to the US to compete, and those are kind of the superstars in our world that we know, the ones that compete in the United States. And
Mhm.
we've, for the longest time, we didn't have it open to international competitors where they could qualify for the Olympia. Now we do with the NPC Worldwide. So it creates, I think, one of the reasons why, and we'll probably get into this, why the qualifications changed
Mhm.
for next year in 2026. So I just want to first start off with just a little few stats. So there were 115 pro shows. So of that, 71 qualified, and the qualification period started in September 6th, I can't talk, September 16th and 2024, and then it ended on September 14th in 2025. So people that we knew that were already going to be qualified were the top three athletes from the previous year's Olympia. They were automatically qualified. And then we know that anyone that won an open contest for that period of qualification would qualify. And the Olympia will take place October 9th through the 12th in Vegas. And so I just want to point out, and I don't want to take away like any thunder that you were going to talk about, but um, I think it was interesting. So I was listening, and shout out to Jamie Day Bernard and Greg D. Bernard,
Mhm.
Fit Body Fusion. They were talking about with Jordan Brannon,
Mhm.
or Jay Brannon, sorry, her husband. They were talking about how they were sitting down with Tyler and Bill. It kind of was announced like these new rules and the qualifications for next year while they were there for their like road to the Olympia. And I think Tyler was the one that did the math, but he figured out that 45 of the 71 would have qualified if the rules were the same. So it would have been about 30 less athletes
Mhm.
because the new rules say that you have to win two pro shows or win by points. Um, so I thought that was interesting. And then I guess Tyler also announced that if you win the Ben Weeder this year, it does qualify you for the 2026, just to clarify
Mhm.
on that. And since there is no Masters Olympia because it's skipping a year, there will be no one that gets qualified for this year's Olympia because, as we know, like Carrie Ann Heinrich, she won the Masters Olympia, and that's what qualified her for this year.
Mhm.
So there won't be anyone that gets to go to the Olympia because they win the Masters Olympia next year because they are
Mhm.
not holding it. So
Mhm.
I know that was a lot of info in one like short breath, but
I
I've been doing
love
a
it.
lot of research because I'm a nerd. This is like our Super Bowl, our big
Yeah,
game.
that's a great way to describe it. I was just going to comment too on what you said about there being 115 shows and there are 71 competitors. And I know out of those competitors, there are a few that are like lifetime qualified. So I don't know how many, but like that's just really interesting because in theory, if there were 115 shows, 100 or 110 or
15.
100,
Yeah,
yeah,
115.
that I mean, in theory, you could have 115 bikini competitors if they just did one and done. But then you have people like Ashley Kay that just does all these shows and wins all these shows and like, do you know what I mean? So then maybe all those people did two shows or won two shows or already are doing multiple shows. But that's just interesting. Or maybe there are some people that are qualified that aren't going. I don't know if that's a thing too.
I think just from Fit Body Fusion, I think when I was watching their predictions, they had 18 people that are going to the Olympia, and I think by the new rules for just winning 2 pro shows, I think like 4 or 5. I don't want to misquote that, but like that it gives you an idea. But we don't know how people would have done on points because there's going to be
Right.
points. And then the other piece, and I heard Ashley Kay and her coach talking about it on their podcast. She was saying how she's the GOAT. So she's been
Mhm.
competing every year.
Mhm.
Um, but the new rule is, and I don't know who's ever tried to do this, but like outside of 5 years, if you haven't competed in 5 years, if you're a Miss Olympia, you can only get approved by the IFBB to go to the Olympia without qualifying. So
Wow.
Ashley doesn't have to worry about it because she's always competing. But
Mhm.
like some people, if you've taken 5 years off and you're Miss Bikini Olympia and you decide you want to come out of retirement, you have to get approval now from the
Wow.
IFBB. So,
Wow.
which makes sense because I mean, you could, I mean, you could just go by the rules and technically there'd be like some older people that would be able
Mhm.
to go and
Mhm.
they may not necessarily like be representing the IFBB in the best way like for that, which I don't
Yeah.
think they would do that, but yeah,
Yeah. I can,
just to point that out, that is a new thing that's kind of come up. And she was mentioning how that's like not something that's been kind of like that's a new piece of information,
so
essentially.
it's no longer a lifetime qualified.
Well, yeah, as long as you
Keep
have competed
competing.
within 5 years.
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah. She was like, I don't have to worry about it. But she's like, if I took 5 years off and then came back, then I'd have to get special approval.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine Ashley. If Ashley takes 5 years off, I don't think we'll see her again.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the case probably for most, and that's probably why they came up with that rule, is what my thoughts are. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, okay, so we definitely don't want to go through this whole list, but I mean, in no particular order, I guess I put together a speculative list of 15, and I kind of put a little bit about each person. So, again, take it with a grain of salt for these numbers because as you know, if you know the sport, only the top 15 place.
Mhm.
Only the top 10 go to finals, but you don't get a placement if you're 16th.
Mhm.
Even
Right.
if you're like actually 16th
You don't even know.
and you're 71, which won't happen this year because there, although there are 71 qualified people like Isa Piccini, who is out, she would be one that's not even competing. So, technically there's 70 right now. There might be more people that have dropped off. Even though they're qualified, they might not actually be competing. So we
Gotcha.
got to keep that in mind too. But yeah, these are just like the 15 of primarily the United States that I just think are the popular ones. And then I have like some wild cards too that are just popular as well it could be anybody's day when it comes to
Mhm.
bikini. So I know your favorite is my number one on this list. So do you want to talk about Laura Lee Chapatos?
Yeah. Okay. So Laura Lee Chapatos is our current Miss Bikini Olympia. And I just love watching her. Actually, her and number two, Ashley Kay. Both of them are so invested in this sport, even though they've reached the top. They always are working on improvement. And so I really love keeping tabs on Laura Lee's preps and her improvement seasons because she is always working on some new thing. She got really into Pilates this year and really into like these different things to hone in on her craft and get a little bit better. I think I will be very surprised if she doesn't go back to back. I think it's possible that someone could take it away from her. I definitely always think that's possible. The year before this last year, I think she had like a bad peak or not her best peak. I know she didn't place how as high as she was like hoping to. So that can happen to anyone. But I think if she peaks well, it would be very hard to take her off. I also think her posing is absolutely beautiful. I love her whole routine on stage. I love how elegant she is. I love watching her behind the scenes vlogs and stuff because she's just so real life and just so like she'll just show up with no makeup on at a really bad camera angle and be like, guys, I'm getting my coffee. Like it's just she's so like real life. But I'm guessing she'll take first. Definitely back to back.
Yeah, I'm interested because she hasn't competed since the Olympia. So, usually she has so many Arnold titles.
Mhm.
Usually that's kind of what messes it up because with ever since 2020, really they're finally getting back to September, right? So it
Mhm.
was always in September forever and ever. And then, it's been anywhere from, or like next year it's going to be in September. This year it's in October, obviously. But at one point had gotten pushed all the way to December. So athletes between the Olympia and the Arnold, like they did not get a break.
Mhm.
And it used to be more of a strategy, like where, it would be September, and then the Arnold, this year is like March. So you got like a decent amount of time. But I think for a while there, it was hard to navigate between like if you were choosing to do the Arnold and the Olympia, that kind of like put in a new
Mhm.
like thing to just like navigate around. But I think
Yeah.
it's taken like 6 years for it to come back to September, for 2026, and it got close this year at the first week of October, but it's been slowly getting pushed forward in that regard. So that'll be interesting to see that she hasn't competed and like with time off with her body and all of that because she ended up not doing the Arnold this year. um you know I'm gonna skip to number three. I'm gonna let you take number two because I know
My other favorite.
these are like your faves.
Yep.
So Amy Delgado. So she is United States and she is representing. Um, so she's gotten first, most notably at the Pittsburgh Pro.
Mhm.
She also won her third title at New York this year, and those are really prestigious shows. If you see like the qualification points for next year, you see that those are top tier shows that you're going to get more. I think actually those are automatic qualifications, aren't they, if you win either one of those?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some that are like, tiered that high that you can win them and go on. So I just feel like with her, she is always so close.
Mhm.
She was so close at the Arnold. She's kind of like just always teetered um,
Mhm.
amongst that. And I think she's an incredible athlete. Like, I do think sometimes the balance of her lower body to upper body can sometimes be challenging for her. She has very beautiful 3D glutes. She's very athletic. She is
Mm.
shorter, so it just depends on how confident she is on stage. She's a great poser. Just her getting that it factor across. I remember last year it was like, or at least at the Arnold, I just noticed there was like a little bit of stumbling, and I think like if she's just like
Mhm.
really smooth and really just feels that it factor, that's going to translate well to the judges because I just think she's so there. So she could be a threat as well to Laura Lee because they've been in at the Arnold the previous year, they were neck and neck.
Yeah.
They're just
I
so different in their sizes of their
there's
physiques and their shape.
the whole top three have a totally different look, I feel like, within this. I mean, within the bikini look. Laura Lee, I feel like, is just a freak of nature. Ashley is like a tiny Barbie. And Amy is just like you said, she's so athletic. And I love
Mhm.
her look. It is just like Amy's the one that she looks like totally fits in, fabulous bikini look, but I wouldn't want to get caught up with her in a dark alley. Like she just looks strong and
Yeah.
she just has that strong beauty about her. I
Yeah.
honestly would love if she came out of nowhere and took it. That would I don't know that I think she's gonna this year, but I definitely think it could be in her future. And even if she made top three, I would be stoked.
Yeah. So you said Ashley, but I didn't cue that that was our number two on, on the list. But yeah, go ahead with that.
Okay. She is the GOAT. And I mean, if she was going to come back and take it again, I think this might be the year. I mean, it's going to be really hard to throw Laura Lee off, but if something happened and Ashley just peaked really well, I was actually listening to Phoebe Hagen did a video talking about her like just not even predictions, but like just going over all the competitors. And what I love
Hmm.
listening for Phoebe Hagen is she is like really into the posing side of things because she runs the whole posing portal and everything. And so she makes comments on everyone's physique, but a lot on their posing. And that was one thing she pointed out about Ashley is that she's not the best poser, but she's improved. And so I think so too. I think Ashley's solid on stage, but she's basic. She does the basic movements and she doesn't have like the flair necessarily that Laura Lee has. She throws it.
Hmm.
It almost looks like she's doing a dance on stage. But I definitely think Ashley, she's just solid year after year and always making improvements. And I'm really excited to see what she brings this year.
I do feel like she's done less shows this year. Maybe it's just my
Mhm.
imagination,
So she
but
has
maybe
used to,
that's why they have so many bikini athletes
I don't know
because
if
she
it
wasn't
was
blocking.
interference. Come on, Ashley. I don't know if she did anything this year, but I know she has had to take time off in other years because of like eye surgeries and things like that.
Yeah.
She's really open about that, but I do know she took a longish off season this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Vanya was, and I heard her say it, so I know that this is how you pronounce it. It's August. It just is pronounced August.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched her interview with JM on her road to the Olympia, and she is Haitian American. So she is from the U.S., representing the U.S., but she's like her heritage is Haitian,
Mm-hmm.
and she JM pointed out to her, she didn't even know this, but the history of winning the title for Arnold UK and the United States UK in Columbus, she and Ashley Kay are the only two that hold both titles. And so he told her something new that she didn't even know about herself, which I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's another one, like she won both those titles this year. I mean, she could make an upset. She's one of those people that has that flow of her posing like Laura Lee, where it's just captivating. Her stage presence, her flow, it's just beautiful. And like you said, it's like a dance. So she's commonly praised for that. And that's something that's really notable for her. I think for a long time, she was really underrated. Like, I feel like last year, she didn't, first of all, get in the first call out, and then they like moved her way up at the Olympia, but like she initially didn't get called out there.
Wow.
I think I'm quoting that correctly, that she originally got in the second call out, and then the confirmation she got pulled out like higher up because they realized, oh, okay, we need to do something about this. So I think if she brings, a package similar to what she brought at the Arnold, I think she's a contender. So
The thing about posing, when you're in the Olympia, and this I just kind of want to get your take on this, but obviously when you are that close, like we said, all of these competitors have stunning physiques. And yes, I'm sure a lot of them will get judges' feedback on where they can improve. But like the top five, they're so close. How much do you think posing and your individual routine actually has to make a difference in the points because their physiques are so beautiful and stunning and almost flawless?
well, I the only thing that I know from Sandy from the horse's mouth,
Hmm.
I asked her how she does nationals. Okay, so very similar where there's just tons and tons of competitors. You're seeing all these like gorgeous, like on point bodies. coming through. Like there's multiple call outs. And what she said she does is in the comparison round, she gives everybody a letter grade. So
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, and A means that you have potential to be in the first call out. But then she watches their individual and then she gives them either a regular A, an A plus, or an A minus. And
Okay.
so then she looks back when she's done that, because that's like her solidification, because they're in groups, like you're the B's, so you're a second
Yep.
call outs, you're the C's. In this case, I don't know how many letters there are because it's
Yeah.
71 people. I guarantee they'll probably do like 10 people in each call out. Like basically your top 10 is going to be in that first call out would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
So long story short, I think that's probably what they have to do in this situation because
Yeah.
similar to nationals, like everyone's on point. Like there's no obvious, like everyone obviously fits the criteria. And so I think that presentation actually has a lot more to do with pro bikini than anything. So yeah, that's my take on that.
I love it. Okay, so we're
You
on
want to
number
take
five.
Jazzy?
Yeah, Jasmine Gonzalez. Okay, so she represents the USA. Her muscular balance and fullness are really good strengths. Also polished posing. So, like we said, talking about posing. I might be wrong about this, but I think she has actually worked with Phoebe on her posing. But that's really good.
She's like every pro's posing coach. Jazzy
Jasmine
is.
is, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So she's like the OG posing coach. She was like Dave Raja's posing coach. So a lot
Okay.
of the pros go to her.
Yeah.
She's like kind of like she was around before Phoebe and she was like the posing coach. So she
Love
kind
it.
of has her own brand, I think.
I love
They might
that.
have done some collaborations maybe, but I mean
Mhm.
she's probably
Maybe they're just
the
friends.
OG poser
Maybe
of
they've done
all
videos
time.
together. Yeah, because I definitely have seen them together. So then there could be, she can appear too crisp or hard with detail and separation. So peaking will probably be a big thing for her. That always blows my mind because that has never been a thing that I've ever gotten to where you appear too crisp or too hard. You know what I mean? We're always like
Yeah.
those lines. And so it's got to be tough to be on the other side because once you're there, learning, you like softening yourself in time for a show, that has to be such a hard thing to do. But I'm sure if she's
Yeah.
gotten that feedback, she will be working on that.
Yeah, she's one that, I think she surprised everybody with where she placed like at the Olympia in 2024. And then everybody kind of thought, with Ashley and Laura Lee not there, that since she was third, that she would win the Arnold. And I think that was like a big upset, that she got moved out right away. But the judges were sending a message that she was too hard, too conditioned, and I think that that's good that they're drawing that line in these ways because she was. I think they were at the point where they were chasing her metabolism, and she just was eating a lot of food, but she just couldn't like get like real full and things like that.
Yeah.
So another one from the United States is Jordan Brannon, and she just recently won the San Antonio. She's been on and off. Like at the Arnold, she was also too hard. She did really well at the Olympia with her appearance last year, and so she's always kind of like bounced around, like did really well, or like placed lower than what her expectations are now. When she says like I just heard her interview with Sean Hector and she was like, when I do bad, that means like I'm in the top 5, but I don't win. So like her standards are way up there. But when
Yeah.
she as far as like her winning this past weekend or whatever it was, just recently, she looked really good. So I think it's cool that she did kind of a show like the last of the qualification just to kind of see where she stands, like with her level of conditioning and her size. Her muscles are huge. I mean, it's crazy. So we'll just see. I think she has really good potential. And I almost like want to put her as a wild card as well because
Wow.
it's like so, it's like either 100% on or like a little bit like out there. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
So
Again, phenomenal athlete, so nothing negative towards her.
on the opposite end of that, we've got 7 is Ashlyn Little. And it's interesting because before I even saw this in your notes, you have awesome notes, by the way.
Oh,
I
thanks.
was going to say Ashlyn Little is, don't underestimate her. She is an underdog, but she is coming for it. There is something about her on stage and just in her, like, I don't know, just something about her personality that's like, she is coming for the title one day. Like, she's just tenacious and she has that about her. She's tiny though, like tiny, tiny. She has been doing, I feel like she's been doing well lately. So third in at the Arnold. That's pretty,
It was
is
one
that
of her good ones, but she
yeah,
also she's come to the Olympia several times, but it's like,
yeah.
you
And
know, like
not
her first appearance on points, she was always second place, second place, second place, never had a pro win, but like won on points and then got top 10 at the Olympia at her first showing. And then there was another year, I think it was the following year, where she was way off. And
Mhm.
then she kind of changed coaches and she's been bringing a really good package since she's been working with Cash. So I'm really excited to see what they bring this year. She did really well last year. So yeah, rising star for sure. I think she, like you said, she has that tenacity. She's used to being the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah,
And I think
yes.
she has that as her fight from her roots, that she never won the shows. And so I think she's just gonna like turn that switch, because once she turned that switch from being second place, it was like she would win all of her pro shows. So um
Yeah.
okay, so Maureen Blanquisco, she is a former Miss Olympia,
Mhm.
and just based off of when I saw her in Pittsburgh, um, from what I saw, she because of her injury last year, unfortunately, and because of some time off, like in general, with that ankle, that freak ankle injury, it was so weird that she fell off the escalator on the way to the road to Olympia. Um, Poor thing. But yeah, I feel like the level of muscularity is like
Mm.
just this year is like really gone into overdrive. And so when she was up there at the Pittsburgh Pro, I just didn't see that she was like as big as some of the even newer athletes, or just like people like Amy Delgado. Like she just needs to keep up. So she kind of like shut things down. So hopefully, I mean, I'm assuming she grew, or like,
Mhm.
went into growing season. She was already qualified, so she didn't have to win a show because she's Miss Bikini Olympia as of this year's rules. Well, plus she competed within the last 5 years. But I think they shut it down to try to really build her up. So I have no idea like what she'll show up as. I mean, she's won the thing before, so she has very
Yeah.
pretty muscle, really good stage presence. So it's her.
She's won, and technically she never lost it.
Mm-hmm.
She was injured and was out. So that, I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
interesting point. I can't wait to see what she comes back with. But that is a really good point with injury and not being able to train for a long time and being a smaller athlete anyways. I don't know. I
For
think
some reason, I thought Jen Dory did beat her, took away her title.
I don't think so. Cause that
Okay.
oh, you might be right. Gosh, you
Because
might
it just ended up being 2 years because of the injury, because she had taken, she had lost her title and it would have been 2023. And then she was supposed to compete in 2024, but had the ankle injury. So then she had another year basically off. So
right.
yeah. So
Okay.
like it seems like it's been that she's
Yes.
intentionally taken off 2 years, but I do think she did lose her title, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Okay. Well, that's
Um,
haven't
but
seen
I don't want to misquote that. So my brain these
that.
days, who knows? Do you want to take Evie Eskandar?
So I actually, yeah, I'm not as familiar with the next few, but she is European. She's from Spain, so representing Europe, not the USA. Um, Often admired for clean lines, structure, and maybe being a sleeper pick.
Yeah. So I put on the notes. So just to explain to the audience here, she's the only one that actually picked from a different country, like
Hmm.
outside the U.S. Just well, other than Reina Perez, she's is from Mexico. But some of these competitors they're listed as another country. I think like Yulia Baba is listed as Romania, but she lives in the United States, right?
Right.
Evie actually doesn't live in the United States, so she did win the Tampa Pro, or she got second in Tampa Pro in 2024. She got fourth at the Pittsburgh Pro this year. and at the New York Pro, she got second. So she's this
Okay.
year done some high tier shows,
Mhm.
placed really well, but she did get her qualification in Europe.
Oh,
So I just think that that's why in general I didn't put a lot of these international competitors. First of all, we don't get much press or much media
mhm.
coverage about them. But they also aren't in front of the superstars here in the United States if they don't come over, and things like that. She is one that does come over. So that's why I think she could be very competitive. But again, like she won her Olympic qualification in Europe. So I just feel like the bodies are just a little bit different. And when they come over the US, it doesn't always translate because they're not like getting judged side by side with like what the current standard is in 2025, if that makes sense. But obviously she's on par because she got second to Amy Delgado and fourth to her in the Pittsburgh Pro in the New York. Reina Perez just recently won the Republic of Texas. That was a huge show. It had 45 competitors at it.
Crazy.
Um, so I think she's gaining kind of like a little bit of a like, international fans are definitely like, hyped up about her climb. And I think, the judges may prioritize like more proven names, but she has a killer physique. So again, it's anyone's game.
Mhm.
And then
Uh,
the last five, I just kind of put how they're qualified and like a little bit about them because again, as we get further down the list, it's like not as like common names that you'll see pop up. But
well, and I see even just with 11, Maria
mhm.
Costa,
Yeah,
um, that what you put down is that she has consistency and work ethic. I think that's with a lot of these people that are going to be in like the 5 to 15 kind of range. It's just consistency and work ethic and consistently showing up solid. And then it's just like, which one is going to bring that X factor? Because that's what you have to have at the Olympia. Like you have to peak really, really good on that day, and you have to bring that X factor because everybody's, consistent. They got good work ethic. They are showing up. They qualified. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I feel like she was one that got in the first call out last year, and she was kind of one that like moved down as
Okay.
they started comparing, whereas Vanya got moved up. If I'm recalling that correctly, I'm almost positive it was her. I think she was actually at one point, like it looked like she was like in fifth or sixth, and then she moved way down. She did qualify this year, or she qualified at the Charlotte Pro. And then we have Yulia Baba, who she's from Romania, but she does live in the United States. She competes a lot, like a lot, a lot. And she's one that like Ashley Kay, where they don't really take an off season. I mean, she's doing like
Mhm.
11
Okay.
shows a year or something. But she got qualified at Daytona Pro. And then Ali Bathauer, she is also United States. She got qualified by the Indy Pro. And I just feel like she may be one that could possibly break the top 10. Again, she doesn't have a lot of legacy or history or any big wins. So she could be another sleeper.
Mhm.
Do you want to take Jordan or?
Yeah. I
Okay.
was hoping I could take. Okay, so Jordan, I think she has potential for that X factor.
Yeah.
So because she just has a very exotic look to her, and I love it. And I think she could take the stage and just bring this whole new look to Miss Bikini Olympia. If she's solid and peaks good and like brings that, and then has that momentum that carries into it. I love her look. I love her hair. I love how tall she is. Like I love the bold choices she makes with bikini colors sometimes. Like I just think she has potential of being like taking it, being in the spotlight, and getting the judges to look at her in a lineup.
Yeah. Okay. Adair Lebrecht, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. She's Canada, but she also is one, I believe that she either lives in the United States or because she lives in Canada, she can kind of like get over here pretty easily.
Okay.
And Jordan she's from Canada, but she also lives in the United States, I believe, as well. Adair got qualified at the Hurricane Pro. Some other really notable people, and honestly, these people have been in the top 5 and top callouts of prestigious shows. So like Ariana Brothers, she's placed in the top 10 at the Olympia in 2023. Lana Dunbar, very notable. We love a natural athlete, right? winner of the Ben Weeder is how she got qualified.
You were
And then
there when
Tara,
she won and got her qualification.
what's that?
You and I were there when she won
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah,
and
so
she
cool.
won at a natural show, which I just think is incredible that she has competed at the Olympia being a natural athlete. Like, go Lana.
100%. Yeah. And Tara Greer, she's been in the top 5 at like Arnold's. And I mean, to me, like she's a really tough contender. She was in the top um 5 like at Arnold's UK's, and
Mhm.
she has a really nice physique too. So even leaving these 3 off the list of 15, it makes me feel like sad because I know there were other people too that were just very, very talented. And I'm sorry to those international competitors that I don't know a ton about, because I know that there's a lot of like really solid athletes, and everybody that made it really deserves like a huge just shout out. So I hope that they don't get too fatigued, the judges and the athletes. I'm just like, they're in my thoughts with this whole process, because it would be really difficult to work that hard to get to the Olympia, and then you're 70, 70 or 69 or 68 in line to go. And it's like, you have to wait that long for all those individual routines. Granted, they've shortened them, but still, it's a long time for the judges to be at the table because men's physique and classic physique have similar numbers. So, you know, it's anybody's game here. I'm excited to watch, and I always like to watch the live stream if I'm not there for sure. So
I was just going to ask, are you going to watch the entire prejudging of all 71 routines?
yeah, I mean,
Drink
I
hard.
probably will, but I'll probably do it like walking on my treadmill,
Yeah. Yeah.
watching my iPad. I know the gym will always have, they always have watch parties.
Mhm.
So, maybe I'll do it while I'm working out or something as well, but
I love it.
on the big TV. But
This
all
is
right,
good.
well, if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Purple Life Podcast or at Glam Girl Bikini. And feel free to tag us on your story. If you feel it in your heart, leave a rating or review. That just helps other people that are interested in the topic find us. And if you are interested in coaching, you can go to glamgirlbikini.com and hit the get started button. Thanks for listening, guys.